Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Today I want to talk about the best Sorc build for the Gauntlet. And we're gonna get into all the details here with ball lightning, attack speed breakpoints, arc lash breakpoints, and a lot of nerdy stuff. So if you are interested and also want to min-max your Sorc build, feel free to tune in here and let's talk about it. So as you guys know, I already made my tier list. I'm gonna put that in the description. So we have, and this sheet here, also the Sorc breakpoints here is also gonna be in the description. And big credits to Accurate, who made like a big post here, and Northwire and Mekuna, who helped me with some information here, and really cool. So basically, there is two top contenders for the Sorc, as far as we know. Obviously, this is all, we haven't played the Gauntlet, so it might even change, but the Sorcerer is so fast. You may have seen some videos of how fast the Sorc teleports around and stuff, and just moves through the map. And there's basically two top contenders, and there is a lot of advantages and disadvantages for both of them. So let's quickly talk about like the strength of each build, and weaknesses. So Arc Lash is probably the fastest build. You don't spend any mana whenever you are casting your skills. You don't spend any mana. Like you see, you just like, it doesn't cost mana, and you have a lot of attack speed because you can stack rapid, and you can have basic skill attack speed. And so whenever you press evade, you can just press Arc Lash, and you see how fast it resets already, right? And then like if you combine this with unstable currents and everything, like you're just going like insanely fast, as you guys can see. Like this is like the fastest build. It also like has insane damage. Like it just kills everything that it comes across here. And you can see my unstable currents even resets very, very fast. And yeah, it's just insane. And you never run out of mana, basically. And this is like one of the problems that Arc Lash, Ball Lightning is running into, is that you are running out of mana at some point. Like if you want to reach this speed, especially at the high frames that we're going to talk about now, you're going to be running out of mana. And that is going to be an issue for the speed and also for the Gauntlet. Because it also seemed the density isn't like all like too insane in the Gauntlet, right? So this is basically the main weakness of Ball Lightning, is that you're running out of mana. But Ball Lightning has a lot more single target. And there is these bosses in the game, in the Gauntlet as well, where you need to have a lot of single target damage. It's still, even though it's Nightmare 170, those guys still have like about 30 million HP. And Arc Lash, especially if you don't really have, that great gear, might, not really be enough damage to kill. And that's where Ball Lightning comes in. And Ball Lightning, if you're looking at the breakpoints here, and there's been a lot of math done on this here, and a lot of testing, and hours. So yeah, big credit again here to Accurate mainly, who did this. There's basically a discrepancy when if you can keep your mana up on Ball Lightning, which you can't really do right now. Maybe we'll get an item at some point that makes it possible, but now you can't do it. You can actually be at faster or similar frames to Arc Lash, and you have more single target. But mana is a huge issue, and even if you have all the mana and all the resource reduction in the game, you can't, permanently cast Ball Lightning and not play at the speed here that the Arc Lash build can in the end. So basically, Arc Lash, a lot of speed, but less damage, and Ball Lightning, not that crazy consistent speed, but a high speed ceiling, same as Arc Lash, just less reliable, but more single target. So I would think for most players, you're gonna have an advantage of just going Ball Lightning Sorc. It's the more safe bet. Arc Lash is gonna be very try-hard. It's also very hard to control your character, as you guys seen in my gameplay just now. You're basically blitzing through the map like insanely fast. And you gotta understand, the main damage is also not coming only from Arc Lash. Like you are actually playing sort of like a hybrid version here between Arc Lash and, Ball Lightning Sorc, basically, where you still play gravitational, as you guys can see here. Whenever I cast my stuff, it still produces, Ball Lightnings, basically. And this is just thanks to my unstable currents that proc it. And then we're still playing gravitational for it to deal a lot of damage. So you can still max Arc Lash, and I did in this build, but I also maxed Fireball. I also maxed Teleport, well, for movement speed. I also maxed Ball Lightning, and I even put some points in Lightning Spear, because most damage is coming to that. And there's also a buff coming here to Shocking Impact. And every time you stun, and this is with Raymond, you stun, you also get more damage. So right now, I'm leaning towards playing, like I'm gonna make a Sorc second. Barb is gonna be my main, but I'm definitely gonna play a Sorc. And I think this is gonna be very, very insane. Yeah, there's a third option with Fireball, we can talk about it in a bit. But for now, let's stick between Arc Lash and Ball Lightning. So basically, this is how the Arc Lash setup looks. And this is the Gauntlet version. This is not the Arc Lash DPS version. There's also an Arc Lash DPS version that many people ask me about with Pain Gorgor and like all these like, you know, multiplayers. We getting some of the aspects as well. You can even get in Moonrise here. You can get in, this is the new Vampiric or the old Vampiric power that's coming back with Moonrise. And you can also get adaptability in for another multiplier only for your primary skills. But also Arc Lash has a small AoE. So I think like these fireballs and conjuration, lightning spears and stuff that is flying everywhere is just gonna be more consistent and just better than just focusing on pure Arc Lash damage. So this is why for the Gauntlet I recommend this version here, and you're actually getting even a buff because first of all the patch is buffing like Ball Lightning in general, and it's buffing like, you know, just there's a lot of like Sorc skills such as the passive here that gives us even more DPS with Shocking Impact. It's pretty good. It's like really, it gets like really strong in the end. And yeah, I think that is going to be a very solid increase for the Sorc. Like this Sorc, like they are getting buffed like a lot by this patch. And you're also getting Hectic. And what Hectic will do, it's gonna like, you know, I think get the Arc Lash have slight edge over the Ball Lightning. That's why I also in the tier list put it above. Because now every 5 attacks, and keep in mind with the breakpoints, we're going to talk a bit more details about this. Keep in mind with the breakpoints, you are actually attacking 5 times a second. So every second, guys. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it well, 13. Like maybe you're doing like not quite 5 attacks. You're doing like 4 point something. Like you're doing 60 divided by 13. You're doing 4.6 attacks per second. So you're almost proccing your Hectic once every second. And yeah, it's gonna reduce your cooldown by 4 seconds. And if you only have Unstable Current on cooldown, it's gonna reduce the cooldown by 4 seconds. Combine this with Flicker Step and you're gonna have absolutely permanent Unstable Currents. Even if there's sometimes not enough monsters, right? And there's also a full Shrine version where we take Shrine buff duration, because there's gonna be Channeling Shrines, there's gonna be Artillery Shrines, there's gonna be Blast Wave, like all kinds of stuff that even increase your speed as well. So it could make sense to stack more Shrine buff duration, and then obviously we can't have Flicker Step, and then we put Hectic on our boots. So there's a Shrine setup and the like normal base Gauntlet setup. We will see. Shrine buff duration is still the best to have everywhere, especially on the Amulet. This is the best to have anyways, but we will see exactly if it's becoming mandatory, because yeah, if the progression Shrine here, the Pillar of Glory, scales with Shrine buff duration, and then you get more progress per kill, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be completely busted, basically. Like, you must have it in this case. But we will see. We don't know yet. I'll make an updated video once we know. My god, that is basically, I think, the best build here. Arc Lash, Sorcerer, basically a hybrid. So, we are rocking Harlequin's Crest, Raymond, Hectic, Talbot's Will, which we proc all the time with Teleport, Flicker Step, Accelerating, and Rapid. Those are both needed to hit the breakpoint here. So you can see, we want to hit the 13 frame breakpoint, and we need 75 for an Ancient's Flame. This is going to be our amulet, right? This is what I have here right now. It's my Ball Lightning amulet though. Primal amulet, Ancient's Flame, Esu, Ferocity, 75% attack speed is what we get from here. And then we have 25 for Unstable Currents. Like, this is basically just, yeah, the base attack speed that we get from this, 25. And then we're rocking 15 on gloves, 15 on offhand, and this is like the advantage that you have as well over Ball Lightning, is that you have base skill attack speed. So pretty good, like it's another 15% attack speed that Ball Lightning basically can't have. And you're getting 30 from Rapid, which also Ball Lightning can't have because it's generator only, and 25 from Accelerating. And your Accelerating is basically proccing, and you can see this here. This is Accelerating here, and you can see it on the mini bar. Whenever I'm going, it's gonna just automatically proc. You see, I have the buff already. Like, I didn't even do anything. I don't even have any core skill on my bar or anything, but it just procs, you know. And this is just thanks to various, like thanks to my Fireball enchant, which whenever that crits, it's just gonna give me the buff, like easy peasy, basically. Yeah, and then the next breakpoint would not really be realistic. to reach. We need to talk a bit more about attack speed in very detail here in a little bit. So in terms of like general update then, so accelerating, rapid, then we have Tarasha, and we get the cold proc here from Ice Blades, Lightning, and fire procs, very easy, Ancient Flame, Gravitational. And we use this because Ball Lightning is still the most significant source of our damage. And it just helps you a lot when those orbs orbit you, because then as you're teleporting, you're basically taking the damage with you kind of thing, and it's going to help a lot against those bosses. Flash of Adrenaline, Tactical, Duration, Genesis, Tempest with Burning here. This one unlocks like multiple more DPS multipliers, such as Inner Flames. You can also put points in Devouring Blaze if you even want more on a single target. It really depends a bit. If you're going to be struggling against those bosses, we'll have to see this. Evernight and Efficiency here for 15 crit chance. Don't need resources again because you just have perma full resources anyways. Easy peasy. Yeah, skill tree is looking like this. Full Arc Lash, full Fireball, 1 points here, full Teleport maxed. We are playing Conjuration Mastery. This is also what we have on the Amulet, because again, we're going to have lots of Conjurations out with our Lightning Spears. There's going to be many spears flying around, and we're getting a big damage multiplier from that. Inner Flames, again, you can also put points in Devouring Blaze. I think 3 in Shocking Impact is still very good. Maxed Ball Lightning, Unstable Current, and Asu as the best passive for Sorcs, basically. And this also works for your Lightning skills, just if you're wondering. And yeah, that's the build. I think in Paragon it's very similar to the Ball Lightning Sorc as well. Elementalist, Destruction, Tactician here, Teleport is a defensive skill. We are rocking Charged for Crackling Energy. We pick this up like permanently with Unstable Currents. Enchanter here, and this one is even getting a buff, so it's giving you even more non-physical damage, basically securing your Frigid Fate complete multiplier and everything. Territorial here, then Hunter Killer, we have this, it gives movement speed after elite kill. We are porting most of the time, but sometimes, especially if you have to open these chests or pick these keys, as we saw in the Gauntlet footage, this might be very good. So it's also insane DPS, right? It's giving you 32% additive against elites, and elites is the only thing, a boss is an elite, and that's the only thing that can even live. And then we have Exploit up here. So pretty solid board, basically. And then yeah, Shrine buff duration here on the helm. And we also don't take any basic skill damage. We're basically taking full, you know, like generic all damage. Actually, this one is still wrong. This one is gotta be vulnerable. Gotta double check this. Vulnerable. Yes. And this one also needs basic. And on the offhand, we're also taking intelligence. So that's basically the changes here that we do. Pretty solid stuff, pretty strong. Rocks. Lots of stuff. Like, just focus on generic multipliers, because then we are buffing our Fireball, we are buffing our Lightning Spear, and we are buffing, you know, our Ball Lightning, and we are buffing our, well, Arc Lash damage as well. But it's just generic, while only basic skill would only buff like 10% of our damage, which comes from Arc Lash. So we have like a wide, you know, variation source of damage, basically. Many different sources there. But yeah, that's pretty much the Arc Lash setup. Then we come to the Ball Lightning setup really quick. This one is a bit different. Like, so now here we're going like full DPS with Starless Sky. Get a bunch of now mana cost and resource cost reduction matters a lot. And this is definitely gonna out DPS Arc Lash on every single target. Like, it's gonna kill every boss, I don't know, like 50% faster, 70% faster probably. But again, it can't move as fast because your mana will eventually run out. You can see here, like, I already have really good gear, and my mana still jumps a lot, right? Okay, this is like a channeling stuff. But in general, you see, like, I don't have enough mana to always cast bolts. And if it runs out, then you're getting slowed down quite a lot, actually. Again, in the end, if there's like, let's say, a perma-channeling pylon, I think Ball Lightning is going to win. And it really depends on how the pylons are distributed and stuff like that, and where the accelerating shrines are and stuff. Anyways, like, both of those planners going to be in the description. Like, they are both like really insane builds. And I think for most people, like, you know, you're not like super tryhard. I think for most people, Ball Lightning Sorc is gonna yield higher points, right? But if you want to really try hard, you can try this like Arc Lash / Arc Lash hybrid between Arc Lash and Ball Lightning Sorc that I have here. I think that is going to be the fastest and the best build overall for the Gauntlet. Again, it will depend a bit on the layout and where and which shrines are there, basically. Those are basically the two different builds. And I would quickly want to talk a bit more about attack speed. So there's like a famous sorcerer here from China. His name is Accurate, and he wrote like he sat down for hours and hours and basically looked at all the attack speed breakpoints, because similar to, you guys might remember from Diablo 3, there are attack speed breakpoints in Diablo 4 as well. So you need to reach certain frames or certain attack speed breakpoints for even to benefit from attack speed, right? Like if you're gaining 1% attack speed, you might not gain anything from it if you're not hitting a breakpoint, right? And these are basically what the breakpoints are, like very complicated in a table. And yeah, Arc Lash is even more complicated because Arc Lash basically consists of 2 attacks. Both have different frames, and combined they have 80 frames together. But basically the way I understood it from this table and talking to a lot of people, these is basically the nitty-gritty what it comes down to. So what do you see? You have ball lightning attack speed breakpoints. You have frames. This means like, you know, like if I'm, for example, if I'm at the 15 frame breakpoint, I'm attacking 4 times. I'm casting 4 ball lightnings a second, basically, right? So this would mean you need 81% attack speed to reach these frames. I mean, 81 is like super easy to reach, especially if you have the amulet here with Ancient Flame and Esu. It's basically already 75, and then you just get it on your gloves or on your unstable currents and you're done, right? So very easy to do. Like, and then you want to definitely aim to reach the 13 frame breakpoint on ball lightning. Again, it's going to increase your mana spent, right? The faster you attack, the higher breakpoint you reach, the more mana you spend. So just be careful, because if you have too much attack speed at some point, you might not be able to keep up your mana. But in general, it's always beneficial to have more attack speed because it gives you more damage, and it gives you faster resets for your evade, right? Which you are doing with evade reduced cooldown on your flicker step. So you evade, and then the faster you attack, the faster you reset this. You see? Like if I just attack once, like it just resets like once. But then every skill casting Flame Shield also like resets it. Or casting normal teleport also resets it, right? Or casting Ice Blades. Or casting the Spear. Your left click. Like, so there's many different ways to reset it. And basically, like, the more attack speed you have, the faster you can do this, with at least with the skill that you're spamming. And this is basically how you reach the breakpoints. And also, teleport also has attack speed frames, because you see, teleport is not instantly. Like, it still takes a couple of frames to get to the pixel, right? Like, it's not like you're just there. It takes some frames for, you know, the game to spawn you at the new location, right? Like, there is a slight animation. It's very fast, but there is an animation. So a teleport will also have breakpoints. But you're mainly concerned about your ball lightning or your Arc Lash breakpoint, because that's how you reset your teleports. So this is basically what we're trying to reach. So AF is for Ancient Flame, UC is for Unstable Currents. So you are aiming for 13 frames. And right now I have 75 Ancient Flame Esu on the amulet, 25 from Unstable Currents, this is base, plus any gloves is going to get us there, right? Because gloves, I mean, you have 75, let's say you don't have max roll, you have 70, you have Unstable Currents as a skill, and then you have, I don't know, like 12 on your gloves. And then you see here, now you only have 107, so you got to be very careful that you reach this breakpoint, right? You want to reach 109, this is like minimum, you want to reach this. So you need, like, let's say if you have a 74, you need a minimum of, let's say 10% attack speed on the gloves, right? And things like that. You just want to keep this in mind. You want to reach 109% total attack speed. And one thing, understanding how attack speed works, is attack speed can be in different categories, and every category has a cap. There's basically 2 categories. Category 1, this is like your attack speed on gear and stuff. It's basically 100% capped, and the category 2 is also capped at 100%. So in total, you can maximum have 200% attack speed. You can't have more. And this would be the fastest Arc Lash breakpoint here at 12 frames at 196% attack speed. But this is almost unreachable because, again, there's 2 different buckets, and once the bucket is at 100%, you can't get more. So bucket 1, for example, most builds have gloves, well, 15% roll or 13, whatever you have. I think right now I have a 15%, you see 15% attack speed on this bucket. And I also have a perfect roll on Esu, which is giving me another 75%. So combined, we already have 90% attack speed from the first bucket, which is pretty good, yes? And there's other things that increase this bucket, but it only goes to 100%, right? So 90% is my base. Let's say I drink a attack speed potion, 20%. I would only get 90 plus 20 is more than 100. I would not get 110. I would only get 100 attack speed out of this because the bucket is full. It's capped. It's basically like crit chance and crit damage and stuff like that. Only here that you don't get anything. You don't even get additive or something. Like you get nothing out of having overcapped attack speed. And this is going to be the same for the artillery shrine or for Paragon board and stuff like that. So you're already at 90% in bucket 1. And yeah, if you want to cap it, the easiest way is to add Paragon points. I think it costs like 5 points or something, so you lose 5% damage, but you would cap bucket 1 at 100% with these Paragon points. I think that's still the best solution. But yeah, artillery shrine you sometimes have, it gives you 100%. And this might actually be some pretty crazy strategy, depending on how the gauntlet will be. If you can have an almost permanent artillery shrine with all the shrine buff duration, and you guys know we have this urn right now in the game that basically gives you a 50% boost to all your shrine effects anyways. So you're looking at, like, if you have best in slot gear, you're looking at 60 or 58 seconds each shrine that it's gonna last. So if you have multiple artillery shrines there, and you can kill the boss over and over again and spawn the same artillery shrine, you might want to even change your gear depending on the current week. So right now you have Esu on the amulet, but you might not always want it on the amulet. Maybe you want it on, you know, maybe you want another aspect on the amulet to gain some more damage, to kill the bosses faster on Arc Lash because it's not that fast. And then put Esu somewhere else because you have perma artillery shrine and the bucket 1 is full. Like artillery shrine gives you 100 or even 150, I don't know. It basically like fulfills the bucket completely. So just gotta keep that in mind. Then bucket 2 is basically like all the attack speed that's coming from skills or that's coming from various aspects that are not Esu. I don't know why Esu is in category 1, this is just how it works. But accelerating, rapid, and also the basic skill APS is all in category 2, this has been tested. And same for the Moonrise. So you wanna have like a good combination. So most builds only have unstable currents. But if you have perfect gear, you're already at 115%, right? Which already gonna put you at this breakpoint. And this is like the easiest breakpoint to reach. And then the next breakpoint, you basically have to add accelerating. Because you can't add any more from category 1. Because you will only get another 10%. And 100, like even if you have perfect ones, you're not gonna get to 127. So you need to add accelerating. It's literally the only choice. Or like some other weird stuff. But most of these, like rapid, for example, doesn't even buff your ball lightning breakpoints, right? So you gotta have something that goes into bucket 2 that buffs everything, and this is the only thing that's there is accelerating. So if you want to reach the 12th frame, this means 5 casts every second, you need to play accelerating. No other way, because you can't fill it. Like even some people were saying you can do this like attack speed after dodge that you can get on like the rogue stuff, but it doesn't work because even though it gives you 24, it would be enough. That's basically the same as accelerating 25 to reach the breakpoint, but you can't because your bucket category 1 is full. You need something in category 2, which is only accelerating. So if you want to reach this breakpoint 12 frames, you must play accelerating. We don't know what's going to be best for the gauntlet right now because you have mana issues. I think most people are playing with the 13 frame breakpoint here, and this is the one I recommend as well. So 13 frames, 109% attack speed, like in total. From all the stuff. I mean, it's very easy to reach. Again, you put Ancient Flame on Amulet, you equip any gloves, and you get 25 from unstable currents. You get the breakpoint. Easy peasy, no questions asked. On Ball Lightning, it gets a lot more complicated because, again, it has like 2 swipes and you have to divide it to like really know. And there's a lot of more options because you have Rapid, you have Basic Skill, like you have all these like, you know, kind of things that give you extra attack speed. Yeah, we'll have to see how crazy the attack speed is going to get. But basically, what I'm aiming for usually is either the 14 or the 13 frame breakpoint. That also means that you might be 1 frame or at the same breakpoints as Ball Lightning. But again, you're not spending any mana. So this basically helps you a lot. You're basically not spending any mana. And that's going to help you a lot with Arc Lash because it just makes it so much more consistent in the end. Yeah. The highest breakpoint here just seems not realistic. 196 is completely insane and you're not going to reach it unless you do some pretty crazy stuff, but it's not feasible. So aim for 13 frames and aim for 13 frames on Ball Lightning. You can also play 14 frames, like that means you don't play accelerating, you only play rapid. This is going to leave you with some more room for DPS. But yeah, right now with the Sorcerer that I did show you, or that I will show you here again, like we are basically rocking the highest breakpoint, and Yeah, this is like what you can expect for it to look like when you are blasting. And this is gonna be the same in the Gauntlet. Like the monsters, okay, they're gonna be like slightly harder than these monsters, but we're just gonna be flying through them. Like they're not gonna have any chance, you know. You see, like they even die off screen to the point where I'm not even like able to reset my cooldowns all the time because like they just get killed by all my conjurations or fireballs that are just flying to them, right? And they're flying to them in like insane speeds, basically. And whenever you have your Hectic, which gonna reduce the cooldown again for every basic skill that you cast. You see here right now I have my Unstable Currents on cooldown. And this slows me down quite a lot because I don't get extra procs. But here, as soon as there's monsters, like as soon as there's density, I basically re-get it, like very easily. And yeah, we just like blitz through and everything just dies. And this is going to be the same in the Gauntlet. The only thing that will stop you a little bit is probably going to be those bosses. But if you get a Artillery Shrine, or if you get a Channeling Shrine, or if you get, you know, like even a Blast Wave, or something like that, that's going to help you a bit. See, there was a boss here. Okay, Elemental Core, we take it. And yeah, this is going to be the build that I will be starting with. I also have my Ball Lightning Sword pretty much ready. I mean, in the end, I'm going to start with, like, firstly, I'm going to play a Hodab up, but this is one of the builds that I want to be playing as well, because it's just so insane. Like, you just fly through the entire map, and it's completely nuts. This is, like, basically the hybrid build right now that I'm playing here. I'm just hardening everything so you can see, but I showed you the planner earlier, but this is, like, my current gear. This is, like, my current setup. This is the pet. This is the skill tree. This is like also with like the Shaco and all the stuff, because people ask me how do you have Ice Blades if you don't have it pointed it, but I'm using Harlequin's Crest. This is the current one. And if you are struggling against bosses again, you can take off, let's say, these 2 points. I would probably even do this and put them into Devouring Blaze. It's probably a better setup for most players, because it's gonna give you some more stuff. And then Paragon, looks like this for now. It's also pretty good. Elementalist, Destruction. I even have Safeguard here, probably don't need it, so it can add even more DPS. And then Enchanter Master here is really important to have, because it basically reduces the teleport cooldown. I have Searing Heart right now. This is going to increase my fireball damage. We'll see, there's definitely a lot of like different options you can do, and Frigid Fate, of course. Pretty cool stuff, and then there's also like a bunch of fire multiplayers here. But yeah, I think Fireball is not really like what's capping you. So we'll see how the Gauntlet will feel in the end. Like maybe you can like pull trash to the boss a little bit and stuff like that, or pull the boss and some trash monsters and explode it with Fireball. There's gonna be some strategic decisions that we will have to make in the end there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this like more in-depth overview. And again, I'm gonna have the sheet here linked in the description as well. There's another build here that is Fireball Sorc. That's also insane in terms of AoE coverage, because the Fireball bounces. You may have seen some of my builds. It's also pretty cool. I think it's going to be struggling even more than Arclash on the boss though, so not really sure, but this also has potential to you know, to go up there and compete. Same for the Blizzard Sorc that I've also have listed. Can play a similar setup, but you can see here this thing, it just bounces like crazy. So all these builds are going to be in the description as well, and this one is also cool, but I would definitely recommend you play one of these Ball Lightning builds, either the Arclash Hybrid or the pure Ball Lightning Sorc, up to you. And I hope this video helps you decide that, and we will see what's gonna, you know, turn out to be best in the end. It might be some complete new setup. But yeah, these attack speed breakpoints and stuff, a lot of it was some news to me that I've been researching here over the past couple weeks, going like really into like the Arclash breakpoint and things like that. And yeah, again, big shout out here to Accurite and also Northwire and Mikuna for sharing information here. And I think it's like really cool just to see, you know, these kind of posts and the community coming together and testing all this stuff from different, you know, different cultures, different parts of the world, and we're just trying to, you know, beat some demons in Diablo 4. So pretty cool to see. Hope you guys enjoyed this audio, my friends. Take care. GG. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.